the 90s, Playmates Toys made the deepest line of Star Trek action figures in history. My name's Keith, and I'm a collector working towards owning all 284. I've been a Trek fan for almost 35 years, and most people are sick of me talking about it. But somehow I've convinced my old friend Mike to review them with me on Look at My Star Trek Toys! What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Look at My Star Trek Toys. I'm Keith. That's Mike. What are we doing today? Well, today we are in the run-up to our review of the 2023 Enterprise D and the Communicator, which we were going to do today, but you know what? Mike's got a story that's going to explain why we're not doing that review. So instead today, we are going to talk about the state of the figures moving forward. There have been a tremendous amount of questions and concerns and rumors and petitions and Instagrams, lots of stuff going on. We don't really know anything. We have not actually heard from Playmates in a while.
Good to say up front. We don't actually
we don't know anything. We have heard nothing from Playmates. But what we want to do is just talk through all of what's going on, all the rumors, all the posts, all the speculation coming out of the Toy Fair, which we didn't get any new information, at least officially. We got a whole bunch of unofficial information. So lots to talk about. We're sort of going to go through it all one by one. But before we do that, Mike, I believe you have a story for us.
Yeah, so we're going to, we try to keep the vibes positive on the channel, but this is going to be a bit of a rant. And we encourage you to express your feelings in the comments. Let's let it out as fans. I think we deserve a little bit of steam release, Keith, if you will. So listen, they had announced, sort of dropped a little information here and there. We had a big episode on the channel where we talked about when they announced the Enterprise D, the Communicator toy, looking at Keith's 90s Communicator or Enterprise D kind of made our channel. So I was excited to get the new one, do a contrast and compare. I had ordered it from Amazon. Some great watchers of the channel sent me some links to Amazon when they first went live, even though there was nothing on the splash page. There was no, you had to be a sleuth to even get that link. Got sent to me. The first link I got sent, they canceled my order. They said they were sold out. First they said they had it, then they said they were sold out. Second link worked. It said it was going to be shipped first week of October, then it slipped to November. It came back in October. As of now, still don't know when or if that Amazon's shipping. A couple people have said in various messages that they got it through Amazon. Not me.
People have found it at Target, too.
Yeah, so then I got some things that people heard it at Target. So I go to my local Target. I have 2 Targets within 2 miles of me. So I go to both Targets, nothing. The Target website now updates. Now it shows it in inventory. So you can find the Enterprise D and the Communicator in inventory. Just a little bit further from me, Keith, within an hour of me, an hour sphere, there are 8 Targets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I've already visited 2 of them, Keith. That leaves 6 Targets within an hour of me. I checked the stock of them. 3 show in stock. Have to buy in store. Okay, well, I'm going to have to drive to those. The last one that was in stock was the full hour, all the way to Reading, Pennsylvania, and it said you could hold for 2-hour pickup. So I think, okay, I'm going to put one for hold. I'm going to buy one for hold for 2-hour pickup for the far one. I'll go visit the near ones. If no dice, then you know what? I'm already out there. Take one for the team. I'm driving around. I go to the first Target. Nothing, Keith. Nothing on the shelves, bare, empty. It says they're in stock. But there's nothing. I checked everywhere. Collector's aisle, toys aisle, behind stuff. And you know what? I'll go to the kiddie aisle and I'll look behind the other figures or the other vehicles. Nothing. I mean, I spent too much time in this Target, right? I go to the second Target. It says they're in stock. Nothing.
Did you talk to a manager? Did you ask?
Not in the first place because I felt a little weird about it. I don't know. I'm just an old man looking behind shelves and stuff. I'm not complaining at this point because this is what I love. Keith knows. I will drag my wife into the dirtiest basement toy store in
You have
Times
dragged
Square.
me there.
Yeah.
You dragged me and your wife to a Target once just to look at stuff.
I just like to look at stuff, right? So I don't mind this at all. Target 2, I suck it up, Keith, and I say, hey, guy, it says you have 3 in stock. Okay, let me check. Let me check the back. Nothing. I got nothing. All right, could you check your computer? Sure. It says we have a few. Keith, this guy can't find it. I can't find it. They're not on the shelves. It says they have it. Can't find it. Now it says they have 3 of the communicators and 3 of the ships. They're big boxes. It ain't small.
Hard to hide.
So anyway, you know what, Keith? I'm going to drive the rest of this 35 minutes. I'm now an hour from my house. Targets are so remarkably similar that I was disoriented. It was like being in a casino for 2 hours, 3 hours. They're all the same. I don't know where I am. Where's the Starbucks? How far am I? Where am I? The second I walk in the Target doors bzz, for my 2-hour pickup, I get the email. An item you ordered is out of stock. What? You had them. I talked to the manager. Same thing. We don't have them. Somebody must have bought it. I was like, nobody came and bought 4 of these. Nobody did that. The last guy helped me out. He's overnight shipping it. It's supposed to arrive on Monday, 2-day shipping. We'll see. I have no confidence that these things are showing up in the mail. I'm happy for those who got it, but this just points to a larger dysfunction. I don't know where it's stemming from. We're going to talk about this today, but I'm really disappointed. And I'm a grown man who has the ability to drive all these different targets. If you're a kid and you want a toy, which who knows if they're even marketing to kids? It doesn't seem like it. Anyway, that's my story, Keith. I'm a little salty. I hope that the Enterprise D is awesome when it gets here.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, to be fair, they weren't supposed to get here yet. It's just that they've happened to show up in a couple of different places. Yeah. I don't know what's going on. I mean, that sounds like a Target thing, but like, because their system should not say it's there if it's not.
It seems like Target's their only retail partner. It used to be Walmart, but this one, it definitely says flying into Targets in October. Is what we're
gonna talk more about that as we get into this. So, obviously, the D is coming, right? It's gonna get there eventually. Obviously, there's been some rollout issues, but like we know it's coming. It's been announced. People have it in their hands. It's gonna happen. Where a lot of people's speculations and concern right now are about the future of the figures. And, a long time ago, we saw from London what seemed like the second wave of figures. And we figured, all right, so that must be coming soon. But nothing. It's been absolutely radio silence, no information. Toy Fair came and went.
Keith does write emails. Keith does reach out for comment, and we don't get it.
Playmates has stopped responding to anything, pretty much anybody that I've been in communication that at least at some point was in communication with them. But we have a whole bunch of rumors and things being posted, the provenance of such I have no way of verifying, but I just want to share it with you. A while back, we heard from on our page here from a YouTube viewer called Reptilian Richard Ramirez, who posted, just wanted to let you guys know, a family member of mine works for the parent company of Playmates. Apparently, we are definitely getting more figures in the fall. Half of the wave will consist of figures from Strange New Worlds. Pike is confirmed, as is the remainder of the Next Generation main crew. Worf and Guinan confirmed.
That's hype.
But we don't know. Actually, can you put up the picture of the leak from London so we can see that they at least had prototypes of them?
That's the second.
It's in the yes, it actually is there, but I isolated the picture in the folder in the Dropbox.
Okay.
So we don't. Yeah. While you're doing that, so that is one version of the story that we have. So speaking of Target. Also on Facebook, we heard from somebody named David Sprugg, who posted, according to my computer at Target, and David works at Target, this is what it says about Wave 2. Now, he qualifies it, says this is usually 80 to 90% accurate, but the Target's computers in store say this is going to be Wave 2. Picard from Picard, which we do not see in the prototypes here. Scotty, which we don't see here. LaForge in Next Generation, which we do. Worf, Next Generation. 7 of 9 Voyager, we see all of these. Spock and Pike from Disco, which we do see here. Classic Kirk, Classic Spock. Giorgio from the Mirror Universe on Disco, and Q. Who knows? But that is what David says is in the Target computers.
So would they be like held on a different sort of universal line? Because you can't have just like one figure from Picard. That seems strange to have to market a whole boxing, packaging, graphic design for one character? Or are
I
they just
mean, I
like
would well,
smorgasbording to see what sticks?
I would imagine that that would probably be it, because you notice in the box behind you there they have the generic STU box, that they might just go generic and do some scattershot stuff. We don't know. And David's not saying he knows for sure this is happening. This is just what is in the target computers. So
We've
there
asked
are
this
things that,
before,
yeah.
and now I'm calling to the audience because somebody out there must know. What is the creative pipeline for something like this when it comes to licensing? With toys, I don't know if it works the same as some other things. So Paramount obviously owns the license. They've allowed the license to go to Playmates to make the figures. Obviously, some other people have licenses for other types of things. Does Paramount decide exactly what types of figures on what shows and what things you can release, or do you have creative? Do you pitch to them and then they say yay or nay? How does it kind of
I
work?
bet it's the latter, because I'm sure Playmates gets to choose what they think is going to make money. You know, Paramount might have a no, you can't do that, but I don't see any reason why they would say you can't do that.
Well, then that
But
would point to their. So then my question, where the bottleneck comes from, right? Is that Playmates clearly is making designs and they're clearly making prototypes, but they're getting the kibosh somewhere.
Well, here is where we bring in our third contributor,
Almost like we
which I
planned it, Keith. Almost like we planned it.
almost like I've almost where I think we do get some information here, and I do think that this I don't know, but it has the smell of, it makes logical sense to me. And so this is from Jonathan Alexandratos. Jonathan Alexandratos posted this on the Star Trek Action Figures by Playmates Facebook page, who says, "Friends, I come bearing bad news. I am covering Toy Fair for Toy Wizards and just had my appointment with Playmates. Their booth contained two lines, Ninja Turtles and Miraculous. While both lines are fabulous, I of course noticed the absence of, well, Star Trek. Luckily, I talked to a Playmates exec there who was also a Trekkie and knew their Trek work very well. He said that the ships and roleplay items are selling well. Very well, is what he said. But the action figures are not. The company would like to do more ships and are considering a few right now so as to select one for a future release. He would not say what they are considering, but they are considering more ships and play things. um, They are also looking at doing one more roleplay item, possibly a tricorder. He did not specify which series, though I'd guess original series, given what they've released so far. But the figures are, as he confirmed, in limbo. Target is supportive of the line, but Walmart is evidently less so. The figures we know that leaked the leaked wave containing characters like Q and 7 of 9 we see above us is confirmed as the planned upcoming wave. But given the sales data, its fate is uncertain. He said specifically that the line is not dead, but they're trying to figure out with retailers how best to sell it. This may include the next wave of characters we know about, but it also may not. This doesn't explain much, but it helped me understand the lack of clarity we have around Playmates Trek future. As for now, Miraculous and Ninja Turtles are getting a ton of their attention. This is not meant to represent an official word, merely one conversation with one Playmates representative at Toy Fair. Information could change, update more when we move forward, and frankly, I hope we move towards better news." So there's a lot to unpack there. And I don't think, go ahead.
I was just going to say what that exact story, that conversation, bears out what I anecdotally see. I spend a lot of time at Target, folks, a lot of different Targets, as Keith mentioned. So the strategy is it's the disco toys that I see that stay on shelves and the original series con figures that I see moving, because I see where they there are two main toy sections in a Target, right? Their retail strategy. You have the main aisles that they separate still to this day, boy, girl, boy, girl, boy, girl, little kid, right? And then on the back wall, and most Targets are moving to a very specific unified layout. On the back wall is where what they call the collector's area. And that's where you see the sort of NECA figures, the horror figures, the Stranger Things figures, the more upscale Turtles, Playmates,
Mm-hmm.
collectors kind of editions. And that's where they've been putting these Star Trek figures. Don't know if, and that's where I see the ships or the roleplay items as they call them. So they are making an effort to position them as these collectors types items rather than kid toys, right? Which I
Right.
think we agree on, basically. I just think it's time, if the sales figures bear out, to go to where we've speculated before. So you just got to go. Well, let's talk about what we hope later, but you
Yeah.
just got to go
Yeah.
online only.
Well, and it seems like they are considering doing that. As we said, we did a couple videos back. We talked about the future of Playmates and what we would do if we were them. And I think it seems like they're at least considering that or realizing they may have to go in the direction of this is for collectors,
Mhm.
right? It's not kids aren't buying these retail, although Target seems to want to be a part of this, right? Retail itself is just not profitable for toy companies. It's so incredibly difficult. Walmart's not interested, right?
Well, and
So
Playmates Lunch, listen, their bread is getting buttered with Ninja Turtles. Ninja Turtles line continues to blow up, it's continuing to expand, and is having incredible success in retail. The competition, Star Wars is ramping up again. Now with the new show on Disney Plus, they keep having new lines, new waves. The shelves are stocked with Star Trek or Star Wars stuff. So there's no reason to try to go in and compete with that. It just doesn't make any
no,
sense.
no,
So
and the
go,
the people who are excited about Playmates action figures are Playmates collectors from the '90s. Our kids are not. They don't care. And I think it's that has now been borne out. You're on the collector's part anyway. Now, if you want to make a deal with Targets and say, go back and do some Target exclusives, like you did back in the '90s, where okay, so most of it is online, high profit margins. You want to make a deal with Target to have some exclusives, so people like you and I have to get in the car and go to that Target. Great, Target wins, you win.
and
Um,
they also have carved themselves a market they don't know about. See that a lot of the comments we get, and listen, we read them and we see them and we thank you for sending them, are people basically saying either, hey, this isn't so bad, this doesn't look so bad when we look at something, or hey, this is nothing compared to the Diamond Select. This is nothing compared to the this. Insert your prestige designer collector's item. And the thing is those are expensive items. Not everyone is
no,
privileged to be able to afford that kind of stuff. Even being a collector doesn't mean you can drop that kind of cash.
no.
So to kind of own the market of lower priced entry level type collector's items is a great place to be if you really carve the niche out.
Well, and I think honestly, Playmates, if you're watching, right?
Hire me?
Like
I don't know.
like you said, we read the comments. We get sent I get sent stuff constantly from fans. Your fans are telling you exactly what they want, which means fill out the rest of the line in exactly the '90s style. Don't change anything. Don't update anything. Finish the line. Sell them online only. High profit margins. Sell them only to collectors. Retail doesn't care. Nobody wants to buy retail anymore anyway, right? The margins Walmart's taken, Target's probably taken. You can't make any money that way, but you can make money small runs, original style, straight to the fans. That's how you do it. We're telling you what we want. Listen.
Yeah, or and or just a time for a little transparency. Like that meeting that happened at Toy Fair happened at a Toy Fair in a sort of scheduled meeting. I'm not saying this facetiously at all. Come on to a podcast, somebody from marketing or somebody in like an
Yeah.
executive, explain to us how this works, where the bottlenecks are, what your thinking is, because
Yeah.
people are interested and would be very accepting if we just kind of knew what was going on. And
Yeah.
so I'd love to have the conversation. You're always welcome on this channel.
Yep.
If anybody knows anybody or has a connect, send it our way. Look at my Star Trek Toys at gmail.com. But it's a
Mhm.
conversation we're willing to facilitate and have because people are just thirsty, you know?
And we're rooting for you.
Yeah.
but and I understand the lack of communication because they don't know what to do. Well, make a decision, then communicate with your fans,
And
because people are getting really fed up.
Because you've done some stuff right. I gotta say, the website is awesome. I think it's fun. It's whimsical. It shows information. It gets people hype. It gets me hype. So if we're gonna pull ourselves and just like be online only, you've already clearly got resources in that area. Let's do it.
For sure. And I think that so some of the fans have started to explain those. So let's go and look at the Instagram post from is it To Boldly Go? Is that where it is?
Yes.
To Go Boldly. So posted this sort of treatise, which I'm going to read to everybody. But again, this is like Playmates. Time to listen and communicate. So here is what To Go Boldly says in the next slide.
No.
Because there's nothing there. Playmates Toys. How Playmates Toys and Paramount need to strap on, saddle up, and stop messing about. More direct than we are. Give us new Star Trek toys. Don't redo old Star Trek toys. Ships, role play, and action figures from Star Trek Picard, Strange New Worlds, and Prodigy. We did get Prodigy.
And they're up on my shelf, sadly looking down.
New characters from new Star Trek shows and popular classic characters never before done by Playmates, but done in the same classic 90s style. New action figures should fit into the 90s toy line seamlessly with the same style and design. New ships based upon ships in new Star Trek shows, featuring lights and sounds from the shows and styled to remain in keeping with the 90s Star Trek line from Playmates. New ships based on never-before-released ships. Playmates never got around to making many iconic ships from classic Star Trek. The Refit Enterprise, the Reliant, the NX-01, the Cardassian Instagram login, the Galler-class warship, and many more could really prove popular. And I agree, right? Like we're at the point now, reinventing the line didn't work. So once again, Playmates, we're all telling you the same thing. Everybody is being very consistent. All of your old fans, not only do you have a huge older fan base, right? Well, we're now in our 40s. We have the money to buy these things again. Right, and so you have an opportunity here, and I think To Go Boldly is right on all counts. Right, fill in the line we haven't had. Give us the new figures, give us the old figures we never got, but to do it in the same style as before. Go back to Varner Studios, which they did. Same articulation as the old style, same paint as the old style. Don't reinvent the wheel. I think it's very clear nobody wants the wheel to be reinvented. Be transparent and get this stuff out there. Go online only. Don't try to sell 250,000 of them. Sell 10,000. And 10,000 when you're making $5 a figure is everybody's as good as 100,000 at 50 cents a figure. Money is still money. Just sell it at a point where you make enough money selling 10,000 as opposed to trying to sell 250,000. That's my rant.
Yeah, unless of course there are specific roadblocks that are preventing you from that strategy, in which case, we'd love to hear what that is or why that is. I mean, it seems an absolute waste that you don't have Strange New Worlds figures out. They're rife for it, at least a wave to see what's up instead of just another Picard in another. It just seems. Hey.
I mean, the thing is, we're all rooting for you.
Yeah.
Everybody is mad and disappointed and frustrated and writing all these things because we want you to succeed. We want to buy what you want to sell us, right? And so you have this great opportunity. You have the license now. At least give it a try.
Yeah,
and some of those blanks.
I just got it in the mail yesterday. It's my Amazon. They still send out a catalog. I love a Christmas catalog, man. And
go back to our Chitchat.
Oh yeah.
There we go.
It's like all kinds of toys, all rad stuff, and not any representation from. Now, let me tell you, Ninja Turtles all over this place. So it's clear where they're spending their marketing money. It's where their bread is getting buttered. Like I said, I get it, but there are people out there that want your toys.
Yeah, I don't think you need to spend all the, if you're selling just to us, you don't need a huge marketing budget. We're already paying attention. We're already here, right?
Yeah, and I guess that's the question I would have if we were having an interview. Like I would say is, listen, if you're going to do it the old way, right, the old strategy, clearly kids, parents, a lot of people buy Ninja Turtles. They're hot, right? Makes sense to have a retail strategy. Here, it's not a ton of sense to have a retail strategy with Star Trek because they're just not, kids aren't going to buy it. Moms aren't going to buy it for their kids. It doesn't seem, right? So your options seem to me, you either have to change your strategy, go online only and to see who and target your market differently, or give up the license. I imagine the license is incredibly expensive, right?
Well, but plenty of places have the license.
Yes,
right.
My point.
There's in Star Trek figures being put out there, and the fans who are watching this don't. I mean, yes, we want those other figures and those other styles, but we really want Playmates. We want Playmates to finish our bookshelves.
But that's the question, right? If you're keeping the license, you've got the license, and it's not working in this strategy, just change strategy, right?
It's time to pivot.
Yeah, what is preventing that? Or maybe nothing's preventing it, and it's just trying to take a sharp left in a giant cruiser.
Well, I honestly, I think that's part of it. I think these are huge pipelines, and I think they just expected it to go one way, and their pivot to another way is just taking forever, and they're not being transparent about it, and they need to be. And I think that, like I said, you found ways to make smaller runs profitable, right? Because the Playmates or the Target exclusives from the 90s, I mean, they only made 10,000 of each of those figures. Well, obviously they were successful because you kept making figures after that. So make them smaller run, and if we have to pay an extra $5, okay, fine. So if you sell it online only from your own whatever, you add another $5 to the price. Okay, fine. It's $10 a figure you're making. You're not getting retail. That starts to make the smaller runs a lot more profitable.
Yeah,
and I think you have a way to do that. So
yes. Here's the fringe, right? Paramount. I've seen some pretty insane 3D sculpts. I've seen what some artisans and craftsmen can do, right? That are doing exactly what Keith said, creating specific customs with boxes and incredible characters of things that were missed from your line. Throw the license out to some of those guys and do small runs and do because people want
yes.
it. People, I know. I just want.
Yes, 100%, Mike. This is a Playmates channel. We want. The whole thing is, this whole channel is about the 90s Playmates figures. Even if they're very similar, the customs are freaking amazing. But if it's going to be officially licensed, we give us the Playmates. Playmates, we're begging you. Just keep doing what you were doing.
He is literally begging. We got another thing, Keith. If people want to, you know what?
Yes, so
what do they say in meetings all the time? Oh my God, the cat's literally biting the cord. Get out of there. Very professional.
We're not being more professional. We're never going to pivot.
No. What was I saying? Oh, they always say end a meeting with action items, Keith. Action items.
Action items, yes. So one of the voices out there screaming into the wilderness is our good friend Brandon Giles, who has started a petition to try basically the same thing that To Boldly Go is doing to get Playmates to get on board. And so you can join Brandon's petition in the link below in the show notes. Mike is doing it right now. I think I've already done look at my Star Trek toys and gmail.com.
That's what we call a demonstration, buddy.
I know, but I think I've already used our email. Let's find out. But anyway, yes, please sign the petition. Playmates, I love you. I'm not mad. I'm
Keith,
just
can
disappointed.
Can you chip in $8?
No. I'll chip in $8 and I'll buy the figure you put out online only in the original style and a new figure I don't already have on the shelf. That is what I have to say. So, folks out there, we appreciate you watching. Let us know how you feel. Hop in the comments below and be curious what you all think. Playmates, if you're watching, I think we're all yelling the same thing. Come on the show. Come on the show. And like we are your fans. We are rooting for you. We want you to succeed. We want to be friends.
At least write Keith an email back. It's very sad.
It's definitely, people are getting pretty frustrated by the lack of transparency. So at the very least, just tell us what the F is going on.
Yeah, I've been on that side of customer service too, though, right? Like when you're pushing things out initially, like they had a big launch line going of new stuff. They had Prodigy, they had the disco figures, they had all kinds of stuff, the con figures, all things. And so they were eager to talk because that's what marketing people are psyched to do.
Of course.
And then when things get muddy,
they don't ever want to give bad news.
Yeah, the emails come in and you kind of take a break. I get it. I've been there. But we are offering you a place to come and just let's talk it out.
Safe place.
Let's talk it out.
Safe place. Let's just talk it out. All right. Well, I feel like we have talked it out into your ears for plenty long enough. So we will be back here next week, hopefully, with our review of the new 2023 Playmates Enterprise D. I literally can't wait. I am so excited.
Yeah.
Till then, this has been Look at My Star Trek Toys!